Okay, so it looks like we've got ourselves a previously 3800 Anna who has since fallen into Diamond. Let's see if we can stop the bleeding.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Cool.
5, 4, 3.
So this is effectively being AFK. You late picked. You were going to be 6 seconds late to point, probably 8 seconds late to actually positioning, etc. If you don't get first point rolled here, you're at least going to be fighting uphill to get back
2,
into it.
1. Attackers
Yeah, this
incoming.
loses games.
Defend objective A.
You will lose SR like this. Don't love this positioning, but it's of course a result of where you were. Good. Don't push into the enemies like that. Good. If you'd hit that nade on the wall, it would have actually... You could have scattered the nade sort of on the wall above her. It would have been harder for her to eat. It still would have splashed down and done what you needed to, but I'm being nitpicky. Only needed one look at that Hanzo. He's in a duel, and he's expected to win that duel if he gets a single heal support. And, you know, you can, of course, give him more support than that, but you can't when the rest of the team also needs your help, which they did there.
Go. I'll keep you here.
Take better positioning. You're out in the open, and you don't need to be.
Speed isn't everything.
This positioning is good.
Take your medicine.
Pressure the Winston. Yep. Good poke. You missed the junk. Could have used a little there, but that's fine. Okay, keep him up. Shouldn't have any trouble keeping him up and let him win. Okay, so that's unfortunate. You're used to tilting your camera down that much when you're on flat ground to be able to hit the enemy in front of you and yourself. Two problems with that. One is, hey, you were on stairs. The second of which is Winston's, when they land good leaps, boop you a bit. And also, you know, Winston's will often use primals and use actually an ability that boops you, but even just landing on you boops you. So you wanted to nade yourself and then sleep dart him. That's fine. You could have tried to sleep dart him on the way in before he landed. It's going to be the rare Winston that uses their bubble early in the air like that, because then if you didn't early sleep dart, they can't chase you because you have your sleep dart up. So that's a bit of a mind game thing. Doesn't matter. The real thing is this was just a mistake. You needed to hard aim down to nade yourself, or you needed to throw it into a wall, etc. Throwing into a wall would have actually served you better here, but that's a very specific thing that your mind would have had to be caught up on to do. Other than that, this was good positioning. You healed your Zen, though you were a touch slow to get the shot on him. You'll get faster at that with practice.
Experience tranquility.
I'm not ready to hang
Back. You guys got 2 kills. They got counter kill. This is... You may need to use your Nano to win this, but it should be in a place where you can use your Nano to win this. If your Ryan's got someone near him, it's probably worth it. Yeah, that Winston just used Leap Nano, you're Ryan. Good.
Get in there.
Yep. Went for the sleep that burst that time, eh? Okay. So, that's not the end of the world. The truth is you never actually needed to open that angle, which meant the Winston wouldn't have come that deep for you because he wouldn't have known exactly how deep behind it you were. Your Ryan was in no trouble. You just nanoed him. Your Zarya was full, but I am asking you to have stayed with that corner closed for a long time. That would have actually been correct to keep that angle closed for a long time, because you going down is pretty much the only way you guys could be in any danger of losing this point based on who you had there, etc. But it would have been a lot of downtime, so I'm not going to be super critical about it. And you did use the Nano, and that stabilized the point at least then, so that was good. At this point, you're looking to be sneaky and hope they don't see you while you heal Lucio forever while he contests. Because unless someone is really low, and you can, yeah, no one's going to be really low. Okay, this is just junk time right here.
Objective lost. And it takes more than that to keep me out of the fight. I will keep you.
Stabilize. I'd have preferred the other corner, closing that self-destruct on the other corner than this one. This took you longer to get to and is going to keep you out of line of sight of your Reinhardt who needs heals for longer. It also pushes you nearer to the Tracer, but you didn't know that at the time. It's fine.
You're going to.
Generally that heal would have been, yeah, whatever, I'll live with it. Good, poke out the Winston, make them setting up their staging an absolute pain. Are you doing this? I don't like this position. I especially don't like this position as this comp because it's so accessible against this comp rather, because it is so accessible by their Winston. In fact, you're almost encouraging their Winston to take good positioning by being here. Yeah. Oh, what do you know? There's a Winston. People healed up. You should be looking to use your Nano here, though. You see this has devolved into a 5v5 fight. You know some cooldowns are out. You saw that Tracer use some blinks. You know the Winston's used Leap. This would be a good time to encourage your Rhine, just slam on the Z key basically to encourage your Rhine to take a step closer to that Winston so you can nano him, or if the Diva's boostering here, you could nano her and she could end up in the Winston's face and just demolish him. But this is exactly the type of moment you want to use a nano in, when a fight is still relatively early, but some cooldowns have come out. Ults become more powerful as opposing teams' cooldowns get used, because cooldowns are some of the best answers to ults. So if they have less cooldowns available, but you're still relatively early in the fight, that's when your ults are going to be the most impactful. So now they're nanoblading. And now it's probably too late. If you'd nanoed before, your Reinhardt could have chunked down half their Winston, put some pressure on the Zarya, and you'd potentially be in this. But hey, maybe you'll hit a great sleep dart here. Well, you reached for the button. You also technically should have closed the angle as soon as you saw the Genji doing Genji things. You should have been closing the angle sort of when he was over the point and pulling out his blade, etc., rather than closing it now, because he's looking for you. I promise, on your team with your comp, he's looking for you.
You're powered up. Get in there.
That Nano's early. I know, you think he's going to be gone, and you won't get to use Nano, but it still would have been better to Nano him over there, even if you nanoed him over there at 75 health, etc. Not because the heal on Nano is that important, it's really not, honestly, but just because you wasted some of his Nano tick time, etc. That's very minor, though. Like, really, the time to use the Nano was on your Rein or your Diva before. Moira for junk time. Okay. Genji sees you. I'm not sure why you didn't turn to face that Genji that was clearly to your left there, and put a little pressure on him with your right click. You didn't have cooldowns available. Your movement wasn't particularly evasive. At least put a little pressure on him. I think you were trying to break line of sight on him again here, and that's fine, but you can try and break line of sight while you're looking at him. Looking at him applies some pressure, but B, right click, you're putting some damage on him, and that applies some pressure to him. And even that added pressure limits his options. It doesn't extremely limit his options, and it's not a lot of pressure. He's got, what, it looks like sound. He's still got some beat health going on there, and he's at full health on top of that. So you're not putting serious pressure on him, but at least you're putting him on a little bit of a timer, and that limits his options a little bit, makes him more likely to make a mistake. It's also just habitually, you shouldn't be going, oh, I'm going to hide from the Genji. You should know where the Genji is and put some pressure on him if he's harassing you. With rare exceptions, like when the Tracer bothered you earlier and you naded yourself so that you could shoot your Reinhardt twice when your Reinhardt was at like 80 health, that was appropriate. But that was a calculated decision that you made.
Initiating match. Keep ready for battle. Be ready to adapt. 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, you guys are running dive? Yeah, dive, good. Good choice there to be focusing your Mercy as soon as things went to bad place. As soon as, you got in trouble. Okay. I don't know why you feel the need to do this. If you wanted to transition to the left side of point, there was a much easier way to do this. Okay. We'll go here. If you were going to come out this way, only to go across the open where they're poking at you the whole time. By the way, they do have a bit of a poke angle as you're walking up these stairs too, so really you're vulnerable this entire time. And you wanted to be in this positioning? Takes a second longer. You're safe until you get to here. You're really still safe here because their angle isn't as good. You're basically safe until you get to here, until you get to the edge of the wall, that you can then immediately hop around and go the safest route to rotate, etc., etc. You may go this way, you may not, because you're using a dive team, which means you may just press forward and then left, or you may just press forward like that. By the way, if you're doing this path, why did you walk across the open like this? That was unnecessary. This was just risky. If you wanted to be over here, go this way, even if it takes a second longer. If your team was going to dive, and so you wanted to go this way, I still don't like it because you're in more danger, etc., but you're going to go this way, then that's fine. No need to cut across like this. Don't put yourself in extra danger. This is stupid. Don't do this. Okay. Good. Catch up on the diva. You got the Winston, and you might have been trying to get the Winston and the diva there. You did get the diva too? Oh, did you not get the Winston? Okay. You're trying to get the Winston and the diva, so I can understand that nade. I don't dislike that nade, but if we wanted to move that nade up from like a 7 to a 9, we'd have actually put the nade a tiny bit deeper. Your diva wasn't actually in danger because she'd already dropped to the low ground, so you could have instead had that nade just a little bit deeper, and the thing that a little bit deeper nade does is a little bit a little bit deeper nade. It was a second ago, so I'm gonna have to deal with this. There we go. Let's see if I can carefully do a second ago. Sure, we can refer to here. So let's go like this. And do I have what I need? Is this where our nade is going to come out? Okay. You now have the option to throw a nade. The only thing you're worried about in terms of nade, you just saw their shield break. So their shield just broke. You are in the same position that you're going to be in. You now have the option to throw a nade, and you can land yourself a nade here. Not going to get deflected. Might splash catch Genji, might splash catch Winston, and is going to get your Winston and Genji. Even if you throw it another second from now, another second and a half from now, the point is you're throwing it to get your Winston and be a threat to these guys. You're not throwing it as defensively as you did, where it's, oh, it's a to heal my team nade. The doubling power of the nade, or maybe it's plus 50 now, I don't remember. The increased healing with a nade is great, but the better power, the better value in a nade's kit is the purple effect. So if you can double dip, you want to be leaning towards double dipping. That's what you want to be doing, and there were great nade opportunities here. maybe. Oh, I need to go back to mouse for it to be happy. And now, good. Yeah, that was exactly when you threw the nade, and it was just a little too shallow.
Much better.
It's fine. Why are you challenging him? You okay. Your team's up 1. Your team's up 1. Are you telling your team that you're in trouble? Are you telling your team that you're being zoned? Because your team is super mobile. Your team has a Genji, an Echo, a Diva, a Winston, even a Mercy with these guys. Like, your team is super mobile and can almost certainly help you out. Instead, you're fighting a Junkrat that is probably going to get a health pack to help him in this fight. So, if your team is already up, they might not be able to help you in the next second because they might be waiting on cooldowns, et cetera, but they're stable in this fight over here. They're winning this fight over here. One of them can come back and help you and would be happy to come peel for you rather than chance letting the red team back into this fight by losing their Ana. If they lose their Ana, even if in exchange for the Ana they take out the Junkrat, that's not a great trade. If they come back and help you, it's very likely that we can keep everyone alive while one person comes back, handles this Junkrat for you, helps you handle this Junkrat, whatever, and then you win. You do not need to be forcing this duel. And what I see here is you are forcing this duel. And that's a pride thing. Like, don't let your pride get in the way. Don't be like, oh, but I can take him. Like, yeah, I believe you can take him. But you know what? That 30% of the time that you don't, you've made things harder on your team than they needed to be. This right now is a 70% chance that your team wins the point. If you lose to Junkrat, it probably drops to a 55% chance that your team takes the point. Yeah, so like when you scooted to the right there, okay, continue scooting to the right. Like, you can leave this fight. You don't need this fight. I promise. You should have died to his mind. You tracked the Winston there. You shouldn't have. Yeah. So you had lots of friends there who were going to kill the Winston, and your damage as Ana, especially in a close range target, isn't really that high, especially into a tank. So your priority was to make sure you didn't lose anyone, so you should have really been looking to, hey, yes, let's spread in such a way that he can't get good cleave on squishies, on multiple squishies, and then you're looking at that time too to also go, okay, and now let me make sure that my Mercy, my Genji, my Echo stay alive. But that's nitpicky. Like, that's not a big thing holding you back. That's just the proper thing to have done there.
I'm on fire.
Objective A, this will help. New defense.
What? Don't walk in front of your team here. Your Genji is not a shield.
You're covered.
My ultimate is ready.
Yeah, so you guys are going to use Nano Blade here, I think. That's good. That's way too early. Okay. That one. You Nano Bladed while your Genji was right here, or you nanoed while your Genji is right here. So he is going to have to dash, pull out his blade, and dash again to get to a target. And that could get him to the Diva or Lucio Ball. Or Lucio Ball God. Okay, is that a junk? Yeah, that's a junk. So that's going to get him to a Junkrat or a Diva. He cannot get to a Mercy, and if he goes for the Junkrat or tries to go for the Mercy, Diva may boop him out, and he might get no value because he'll have already used his first dash. The other thing that you're going to notice here is beyond, hey, your Genji is super shallow for this blade, so it's too early to blade. Your tanks are here and here. Does this look like a properly staged dive to you? Your Winston is doing the right thing, I think. I think he's going this way. So if your Winston's going this way, he's going to take up space here, and then he'll be able to leap from here up to here, or from here to this side. He'll be able to do that. And your Diva can either push this way, your Genji could potentially be playing from here, your Diva could be playing from here. You want to take space before you dive, but even if you can't take space, at least let your tanks push up and get some side control, etc., so that you have a proper collapse onto the targets. This is a really shallow blade. You're effectively trying to like force this fight without positioning with raw ult power. And Nano Blade's a good ult, don't get me wrong, but he has to use both of his dashes just to get in. If it works, it's going to be because this Junkrat is at half health and this Diva doesn't boop him out, etc. But there's a good chance that this fails, and that chance goes down significantly if you let Winston rotate up, you let your team actually stage a proper dive. If your Genji was shouting at you, nano me, nano me, nano me, the proper response is, I will. I'll get you when you're in there, etc. And he might be a little annoyed, but if you soothe him going, no, I will get you, etc., that, I will get you when you're out here, or I will get you when you're here for the nano, he will 70% of the time, 90% of the time, believe you and actually go along with it, even if it takes a second before he breaks down and goes and does it. And a second or two would be perfect because it would let your Winston go up, it maybe let your Diva take little space, etc. Again, if you win the fight here with your Nano Blade, or win the fight here with your Nano Blade, that's not as good, truth be told, as killing their backline back here with your Nano Blade anyways, because if you're killing them up here, you guys then have to still rotate forward for an extra half second to get to the point, your tanks and your Genji do anyways, and that effectively takes a half second off their respawn time because they get to come back, they can get to point and touch point half a second faster because you guys have to rotate up another half second, etc. So like seriously, wait the extra second here, Nano Blade your Genji, as he's in, once he's going in, etc. Don't Nano Blade him before he's even. Don't Nano Blade at the choke. That just hurts my soul. Okay, I hope that made sense. If not, you can ask questions, etc. You know the drill. So let's go back to our there, and there. So we did get the Junkrat, and you hit a sleep. Nice. Okay, so you may win this fight. That changes nothing about what I said. Like, if you want to be better, that changes nothing about what I said. You guys used brute force ult power to get in here, which, it's cool that it works if it works, but you still want to be setting up better dives, and you want to demand that he's nanoblading from a better position than where he was. That was too shallow. There's a Lucio on you. You can't expect to hold high ground. He's going to boop you. Okay, I can accept this high ground even though he was going. Okay, he's not going to boop you because he's dead, but I can accept your desire to take this because this was the only reasonable place to heal your tanks from anyways. And they're back into the fight with Tyre and Blade. Yeah, deeper Nano Blade could have been the difference here. Can't guarantee it would have been the difference, but it could have been the difference there. There's no way you cap this, right? Yeah. Why are you out here? What? Where's your team? Hint, your team is not here. Are you thinking you're going to poke into them 2v6? That's a really bad idea. You're poking into them 2v6 because you've got your Mercy Pocket here. That means there's 6 of them that could potentially kill 2 of you, and 2 of you that could potentially kill 1 of 6 of them. That's bad math. You are much more likely to get yourself or your Mercy staggered by doing this than you are to get a kill, and even if you did get a kill, you wouldn't be able to take advantage of the full time value of that kill because you'd be waiting at least half of the time that that person was dead for your Genji and your Winston to get up here, etc. So like a kill that you get is worth less than a kill that they get by a lot, and they're more likely than you to get a kill because there's 6 of them that can look at you if you're going for this poke, and there's 2 of you that are looking for the poke. So you generally don't want to be doing poke like this when the other team has numbers. You want to just take cover and you want to back off. And why are you now walking in front of your diva? No, don't do, no. Look, your diva's trying to correct your positional mistake. Get the mercy. She lost her mech out of trying to fix your mistake. Play from here. Yep, drive him off. Unfortunate. Genji's right targets. Unfortunately, you missed the second shots. You can't really help her anymore. Yeah. That was the sleep tote you needed on the Nano Winston earlier. No kidding. Seriously though, good sleep there.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يمر. أنا هاخد بالي منك.
Good to look for the shot. Get Diva healed up. You can close the angle a little. Oh my god, your team is killing me. Okay, that's not your fault. Your Echo is just determined to ult at the choke, and if your Echo is ulting at the choke rather than letting your team actually take space and then using more powerful, deeper ults, yes, you do have to go with it. I just hate it.
You're powered up. Get in there.
And now you're doubling down on it with the Nano Blade, which I can't really object to.
I'm in your way. Go. I keep you here.
I know you want the Diva, but don't stop shooting waiting for the Diva. Yeah, good. It's a good nade. You could have naded earlier for value, but that's a good nade.
I will keep you here.
It's a less good nade. I mean, you knew he didn't have deflect, which makes it a little better, but... I mean, that's fine. Even if you'd hit that shot, it wasn't going to change anything.
لسه في ناس لازم أحميهم.
This is over. You're not really in
Remember
this.
feeling.
Back, back, back! This is the same as before. You're poking into a... Yeah. You're literally just chancing death here. And you are more likely to die than they are. And you know your Diva's dead, so you can't possibly have 6 people here. Unless you've worked out a very specific plan with your Genji of, no, we're both going to have ult for this push. Like, I'm a little more forgiving here than I was earlier because you're now at 88, but you weren't at 88 when you started this. You're now at 88, so from here you go, no, I'm going to chance it in a 5v6 poke war because it's worth it to get that next 12% ult. I can see that. You're going to have a much tougher time selling me that it was worth it when you actually started because your Genji was like back at 80 and you were lower as well.
Duplicating Soldier 76. Get back in there. Heroes never die.
And your Echo again is just forcing that from choke.
You're powered up. Get in there.
I mean, you're making him burn his first dash there, and he's not super deep. That's better than the last one. A lot better than the last one, actually, because where you're standing now and where he was standing is, even though it's only a few feet forward, a lot better. But, I mean, you should be confident that you can hit your Genji if he dashes in. If he dashes in even at a lower angle than he did, that you're still going to get the nano on him. But, hey.
I wasn't cut out for retirement
This is
anyway.
over. No, no need to swap. This is over. You're down. Turn around. Turn around.
60 seconds.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Don't poke into this. Don't. I know you're trying to get your diva out, but it's not going to happen. What? No. Okay. I mean, you have to heal because your team's going in and doing it. But
This will help.
30 seconds.
no, I do not approve of that nade.
Everyone attack.
You didn't need to turn away there. You turned away to heal your Reinhardt, who was in no danger of taking damage, and you're about to have a ton of time to heal him up in here. And by turning away, you turn your camera away from the enemies, so that puts less pressure on them. And you also you also can't shoot at them, which is why it puts less pressure on them. Even if you don't shoot, looking at them is a little more pressure, but I mean, you can take a shot. You can take a shot at them as you're rotating like that, or you can at least threaten to take a shot, and that's a little bit better, a little bit more pressure on them. You didn't need to heal your run yet, but I'm being super minor. It's fine. Heal them through. Transition up to your Rhine. You're dead. Yeah, this is over. You throw out an offensive nade to try to turn it here, because an offensive nade and a sleep on their soldier is pretty much the only way back into this fight. So if you're trying to like save this, it's with an offensive nade. Yeah. And that's got to be over, right? Okay. So by no means a bad game, but seriously, you want to get more powerful nanos off. If we go back through your nanos, your nano on first point was perfectly valid defense. Your nano on second point defense, you missed a prime opportunity and you got a mediocre nano out of it, and that prime opportunity probably won you that fight, at least gave you 50-50 of winning that fight. Would have been much better. Then we move on to your attack. Can I remember all of your nanos? No, but I can remember you're terrible walking across the open there. Don't do that. I also want your nades to be a little more interested in getting purples. You can still get your team like you are, but I just want them a little further forward, so you're getting or at least threatening purples on the enemy more so than you are. We saw that that was your way, not a real way back in, but it was your only chance of way back in here. Also could have seen that on your push on first there. You took the Junkrat duel that, again, you didn't need to do that. When you're up, don't let your pride get in the way. Let your team know that you're zoned, ask for help, etc., etc. And then just, that nano was painful. That nano on first, nano on second was painful. You guys did make good progress on the point there, but you potentially could have won the point with a deeper nano there. 2 seconds later, when your Winston was in position, once you'd taken a little more space, set up a bit more of a concave for your dive there, etc. Your later fights, your Echo was really forcing it because she was the one using the ults at the choke, and you had to throw your nano into that other one there. 1 second. Excuse me. So if you look to use the better nanos, and then there was that last nano where he was at the boxes and you used it at the boxes, and that's a lot better, but it can be better still. Like seriously, being a little bit deeper with those is going to make a difference. So that's two nanos that could have been a lot better and one nano that could have been a little bit better. And I am going to go ahead and make that your main thing. If you want a second thing, because you go, no, I can work those better nanos in real fast, it would be, hey, lean a little more aggressive than you are with your nades. I know that may feel a little scary because it may be like, oh, if I'm using my nade a little more aggressively, I'm probably going to have my nade to protect myself a little less. And that's true, but your sleep darts are okay. Your sleep darts are okay. You have to believe in them. Your sleep dart is what's for protecting you. Your nade, if you're not playing against hard divers, and sometimes even if you are, is a really, really good offensive ability, and you're using it defensively, not so much on yourself to some of that, but defensively to protect your team more often than it should. You are less interested in using it to keep your team in a fight, though that's not bad use of it. You're more interested in shifting it forward a little bit to threaten some purple on the other team there. So that's what I think is going to be your most important takeaways from this game here. If you have other questions or want another session, you can let me know and we can potentially work out what that's going to cost. I can be reached on Discord, through YouTube comments, or on Twitter. That's all. Temporal out.